All right, welcome in, boys. Let's take it to the bank with Keg and Coop. Had the week off last week. It's been a hectic fucking couple weeks in my life. Did not do anything sports betting related last weekend, but I'm back. Shit has settled down. I think everything's gonna be okay. And I got my whoa, amateur hour, Coop, right from the fucking door. See what happens when I take a week off? Christ. Yeah, no, the YouTube stream was playing in the background. But we're back. We're back, Coop. I did not make a bet last week. I was busy with family stuff. You had a good week, though. What were overall thoughts on Dover, my guy? First of all, hi. How are you, buddy? How was your
Doing
week?
all right, man. Doing all right. It was a pretty good race. Better than most of what we've seen this year. What just stinks is the car that's up front's the one's going to win. And there's very few cars. Like Marty drove through the field and showed that he could do it. But other than that, like it was all about being up front. There was passing and things of that nature. So, like, it was a lot better than Talladega, in my opinion. And a lot better than, Martinsville. But, I think we still got a long way to go. They've got to come up with more tire wear in these tracks to make the racing more exciting. So we'll get into these 1.5 miles here. And they were pretty good last year. A lot of that had to do with all the wrecks and things, which, made a lot of drivers that typically wouldn't be there end up being there. So I don't know if that's how it's going to play out this year. The tires really haven't been that big of an issue. So we'll wait and see. But, yeah, overall, Dover was pretty good.
So I saw that the boys in the Discord got on Marty, which is awesome. I saw you told me before that you hopped on Marty at 12-1. That's a good week, man. Boys in the Discord can't complain about that, and neither can you. That seems to be the thing this year, right? There's like one car that can like drive through the field and take the lead, it seems like, in every race, but like
Right.
That's it. There are not multiple cars that can drive to the front.
I mean, frickin' Ryan Blaney, I don't know if he was worse than fifth in that entire race. Through pit stops, through everything.
And couldn't get there.
But I don't think he ever got past second. He never led though. I don't think he ever led. But, he just couldn't get there. I mean, he was basically a third place car the entire day. And it didn't matter who was in front of him. He just couldn't pass him.
So manufacturer-wise, how did that play out last week? Who was best? I know Marty won the race, but was Toyota best?
Kyle Larson was best. Be honest with you,
he's the best car almost every week.
Yeah,
he's got the. I know that Will Byron has led supposedly 19.5% of the laps this year, and he's got wins. But let's be honest, Kyle Larson's had the best car this year. And it's not close, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. But I don't know. Definitely not Ford. And I'd say it was a toss-up between Chevy and Toyota.
Yeah. So Ford struggled another week.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I don't expect it to get any better for them this week.
It was Ryan Blaney. I mean, that was it. And like I said, he couldn't move past, third place.
So the last time that I bet, because I didn't bet last week, was the Geico 500, bro. And I got to tell you, I went back and I looked at the bets that we were on 2 weeks ago. And I cannot believe that we didn't make thousands of dollars in that race. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe we got beat there on that final lap.
I
Fucking
knew exactly right when Ty Gibbs ran out of gas, Ryan Blaney was done because they had nobody pushing him.
right. Yeah. It's brutal, 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 brutal. But here we are. A new week. Kansas, right? 1.5 intermediate. What I sent out a tweet interested because you and I didn't talk this week basically about this race at all. The comps, I thought it was probably the Vegas race from this year and the second Kansas race from last year. Are you using anything besides those?
Yeah, just Vegas and Kansas.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess 1.5 in general, when looking at a couple of drivers.
So
I think there's 3 drivers this week.
I think that there's more than 3, but
there's right. I think there's more than 3. I think there's 10 to 12 who could potentially win, but I think there's 3 that when you look at 1.5 tracks between last year and so far this year, that are heads and toes above the rest from a speed perspective.
Don't tell me. We'll get into it. All right. So, but let's talk about Kansas Speedway. Historically, not really a tire wear track. What are your thoughts on Kansas?
Well, it's interesting you talk about tire wear. I think it's getting a little more tire wear every year than what it obviously has been. But I think the big thing this year is you go back to last year, both of those races, temperature 72 degrees. This Sunday, 93 degrees. So that right there is going to have a huge difference. It's going to make it hotter. It's going to make it slicker. And it very well could bring in more tire wear. So, definitely different track conditions this year than what we saw last year at this race.
All right.
But the good thing about Kansas is there's multiple grooves. You can go this way, that way, middle, top, bottom, whatever. And you'll see cars in all 3 of those grooves. So it should be some good racing.
Yeah, I agree. Kansas is always a fun watch, for sure. All right, so I guess we'll get into it. Let's talk about we'll talk manufacturers, right? I think that Ford is just a dead duck. I don't think that there is a Ford that could win this race. And to be honest, I think that there's probably only one car that isn't a Gibbs or Hendrick car that I feel pretty good about winning the race. We'll talk about them later. But, I mean, it's Toyota and Chevy all day, every day here, don't you think?
Yeah, I think, Ford could come out and they could do some good qualifying laps. We've seen that before at these 1.5 tracks. But once they get on the track and they're racing, something just isn't right with the car. And it doesn't have the speed to keep up with the Toyotas and the Chevys. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if anything's changed to benefit them and make them closer, but it doesn't look promising for Ford.
When you think about Kansas, right? You don't think about the track where passing is extremely difficult because you just said it's a multi-groove racetrack, and if you can find the pocket, you're probably going to be able to move up to the front. But with that said, I read a stat on one of the websites this week that said that there hasn't been a winner in so many amount of years that hasn't come from the first 8 rows. What's your thought?
Yeah, I saw a tweet. I think it's like 12 of the last 14 winners have started and then the 6th row are forward.
That isn't that interesting considering
it's all this track's all about speed. It's speed, and more speed.
Right.
And, a good car can drive through the field and get back up there. But if you don't have that speed, you're just gonna, sputter around in, 15th, 16th, 20th place, whatever you're in, and you're not gonna be able to pass cars, and you're gonna have to rely on attrition and other drivers' mistakes in order to gain position. So, if you have a fast car, Denny Hamlin showed it last year. You know, drove from the back a couple times to the front in the Kansas races. But he also showed that myth of, needing to be in the top 12 to win. And because he started, I think 20th, 25th, somewhere in that ballpark both times. Not great.
So this kind of brings me around full circle to what you were talking about earlier. When you look at the fact, there has only been, this will be the third Kansas race in a next gen car, right? So it was
second race with this set of tires.
With this set of tires, but just talking about the next gen car. So the majority of those 12 out of 14 races were in the old car, yet the front 6 rows, that's where the winner came from. Now, when you square that with the fact that it is almost impossible, but for one, maybe a second car to drive to the front in this new car this year, it really makes me think that qualifying is going to matter a ton.
To a degree, yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a couple Fords qualify well tomorrow. But, I do agree. Track position and staying up front is to the driver's best advantage. Because, 12 out of 14 times. Old car, new car, didn't change.
All right, so before we start going down the list of odds, and I'm going to pull up Caesars, we'll look at that. I see a lot of people blowing Tyler Reddick this week, and I even see some people saying that they like Bubba, just like 23XI in general. I don't know, man. Like, yes, what stood out to me when I was looking at all the data, it's not often that you see a car 1 full mile per hour faster than the field in green flag run. That's not that common. But I just don't feel like Reddick's the car this week. I don't think he's going to win this race.
I didn't bet Reddick. I know a couple people got him at 14-1, maybe 12-1. Good number on him. I just look at this new car and how hard it is to win multiple times. How many times have we seen drivers win multiple times? And now you're looking for a particular car, to not only win multiple times, but win at the same track multiple times in different conditions than what we had, last year. So, do I think Tyler Reddick's going to do good? Yes, I do think Tyler Reddick's going to do good. Could Tyler Reddick win this race? Most definitely. He's one of the 12, I think, who could win this race. But for those reasons, I stayed off of him. I just think that there's the variance out there among these top 12 drivers. Any one of them could win it.
Yeah. All right, so we'll run down the odds. Kyle Larson is your odds-on favorite at 5-1. I think he should be the odds-on favorite. I think he has the best chance to win this race. He's in my top 5. He's probably number 1. I assume now. Granted, nobody likes to bet an outright winner in NASCAR at 5-1. But just taking it for what it's worth, you expect him to be the nuts tomorrow or on Sunday, right? Or at least capable of being the nuts.
Very, very much capable. I could probably count on my hand the number of times this year that he has not had a race-winning potential car.
Agreed.
Week in and week out, he's consistently fast. and it doesn't seem to matter on what type of surface, what type of track. He's just got it. And, it really shows like that year he won 10 races, man, is incredible because
Yeah,
because he could have won probably 4 or 5 races already this year.
100%. Yeah.
But, he's had some things that he's done. Other cars have had some things that have, hurt him. And, that's what it all comes down to.
You have to be perfect. Like, you can't just have the best car in the race or one of the best.
Right.
You have to be perfect and make zero mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt. He should be the favorite, and he's going to be very tough on Sunday.
Agreed. And speaking of mistakes, Denny Hamlin, he's second in the odds-on market, and you know what? The books nailed it, because to me, in my opinion, I think I would rate him the second best chance to win this race this week, and he deserves to be where he is on the board. However, the dude can't get out of his own way. I like, we were talking about this in our Discord earlier in the week. One of the guys was like, "Man, it always seems like he stubs his toe," and yeah, and then I started pulling article after article. Nobody has more pit road penalties than Denny Hamlin in the last decade, and it's not even fucking close. Like, he just can't get out of his own way, man. And like, yeah, it is going to click for him. And when it does, he's going to reel off a few wins because he's got a very good car this year. But I'm so hesitant to back him at a number like that because of the mistakes that he makes. But I think he's got a very good chance to win on Sunday. Where are you at with Denny?
I agree with you that he does have his issues. I think that the number of issues is compounded, and I don't think it's a fair number to really look at him on that, because if you go back and look at it, he typically doesn't have just one in a race. When he has them, he'll have 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, like won a stage. Yeah.
Right.
It's
Right.
crazy. Yeah.
So it's not like he's having these every race. I think a better statistic would be how many races, what percentage of his races versus how many times, because like I said, when he has them, he has them. And a lot of that's through his own frustration and doing. So, but again, if you go back to last year and so far this year at Vegas, the guy's fast on 1.5-mile tracks,
100%.
very fast.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of time. And he knows it's a matter of time before he wins too. He keeps saying it, and that's what I like to hear from him. So, I agree. I would have him second. I think Larson's by himself, and then there's second and third for me.
Me too.
Could be flip-flopped. So, but yeah, and the other thing I think, like, I really wish I could go back and find out, like, why did he qualify so bad last year? Was it just a bad lap? Or did he have bad practice? And, what was the resulting figure of it?
Right. And he's not just fast, Coop. He's also really fast late in the run too. Like, he just gets better as those laps tend to click off. One of the best for sure this year.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, yeah. So we agree on that. But man, can you pull the trigger on him at 7-1?
Well, I'm going to pull the trigger on one driver, and that's my stance for this week, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't know who it's going to be yet, but it's going to be one of 3 drivers.
All right. So continuing, looking at these odds at Caesars, Will Byron, he is 6-1 currently at Caesars. I'm sure you could probably find a slightly better number. To me, Will Byron is one of those probably top 6 to 7 cars that I think could win the race. But I don't have any interest in betting him pre-flop. That's basically where I am with him. Where are you at with him?
Yeah, I agree. I would bet Hamlin before Byron. The issue with Byron has been they've not done a very good job of adjusting the car throughout the race and keeping up with the track. And they have a tendency to dominate very early. And then as the race goes, they slowly get worse. And then once he gets passed for the lead, he can't get the lead back.
Right. Yeah, I guess I agree with that. But to be fair, pretty much everybody that loses the lead can't get the lead back on these cars. But I understand what you're saying. I agree. I agree. They haven't made good changes throughout the race.
Well,
I agree.
I mean, it seems like here recently, like, when he loses that lead, he doesn't just fall to second. He falls to third, then he falls to fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I'll buy that. After that, Tyler Reddick 7-1. Again, one of the 10 cars that I think could win the race this week. That being said, I think it's really hard to hang. Like if you're betting Tyler Reddick this week, okay, at that number, you're hanging your hat on what? One race here? 2 races here? Well, that's just not enough for me. Not at 7.5-1. So I have to see it. If I have to get on him live. Oh yeah. So Coop won't be on the show on Sunday. He's got a family event, so it'll just be me and the boys. But I'm sure he would agree. Maybe if Tyler Reddick looks like he's got the whip live, I can justify getting on him, obviously. But I have no interest pre-flop. That's where you're at.
Yeah, I have him ranked fifth, and I think the fourth and fifth drivers I could interchange between myself. I think they're very close to each other. So, I seem to be a little bit more higher on Tyler Reddick than you are. I think I give him a better chance of winning than what you are. You pretty much dogged him the whole show.
Well, I don't mean to dog him, but Coop, you have to admit, you're basically, I don't know. I need to see more. Like he's not at the point where he should be 7-1 to win this race. I just don't think he's there.
He's not 7-1. The car is 7-1.
I guess.
And I mean, look, it doesn't matter who was in that car, they're going to be 7-1. If I can put Corey LaJoie in that car, he would be 7-1. They're betting the car. They're not betting Tyler Reddick.
I guess. I don't know. I'm usually high on him a lot, but for some reason I just don't feel it this week. But I will. But the one thing that stood out to me was that he was a full mile per hour faster than the field. At that I was like, holy shit. He was on a rocket ship. That's crazy. But again, show me. Chris Bell 8-1. To me, Chris Bell is I'm with you. I think Kyle Larson is 1, and then to me there are like 4 cars after him that I think I'm really close on, and it's Denny, Bell, Marty, and Chastain. Those would be the 5 this week that I lean stronger towards after Kyle Larson. So I'm very high on Chris Bell. I think he's going to be very good like he was last year. And we could just lump Marty in there too. Also 8-1. I think Marty's going to probably have a very good day on Sunday. Where are you at with Bell and Truex?
I put Bell fourth, Truex sixth, so Reddick fifth. So again, all three of them can be interchangeable. I think they're a step behind Denny and then the other driver who's third.
Who? Can I hear the driver that's third?
We haven't got to him yet.
All right. So you agree? You think that they are in the top half of cars in that top 10? They're the top half of the cars that could win the race.
Right. Yeah.
I'm totally with you. Totally agree. After that, Chase Elliott 12-1. What did you think about Elliott last week at Dover?
Disappointing. He said his car wasn't very good. I'm not really on Chase Elliott. If you go back to last year, he struggled on the mile and a halfs. And nothing's changed. The only is in Atlanta, and that's a different package than what this car is. So he's gonna have to show me something before I believe in him.
Yeah, I don't.
Something's just not right with that team this year.
I don't really disagree, man. And if you look at the speed charts at the second Kansas race last year, he wasn't that good. I mean, he wasn't even inside the top 10.
No, he wasn't. If you look at the mile and a half in general last year, he struggled.
Yeah, and now I guess you can make he did race at Vegas, right? Or was
Josh Berry? That was Berry's first race.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I guess you can blame Berry, but I mean, he was 25th in total speed rank at Vegas. If you want him, or I'm sorry, that was late in the run, but it wasn't much better than that. But yeah, I have no interest really in Elliott. He wasn't really on my radar. So I'm with you. I'm with you there. After Elliott, we have Kyle Busch 14-1, Ryan Blaney 14-1. I have no interest in Ryan Blaney. I'm all Ford. Kyle Busch, I don't know. He fucked me good 2 weeks ago, boy. Cost me so much money, literally like $15K. But I don't know what I don't really have an opinion on him this week, if I'm being fair. Where are you at with Kyle?
I'd rank him right behind Martin Truex.
7th?
Yeah. Last week was the first week he's actually shown speed since he had won at Fontana. And if you go back to last year, Tyler Reddick was in his car, and Tyler Reddick did well, until he blew tires and stuff. So, last week at Dover, I mean, he had the early lead, so you really can't say that much about it. But he was one of the drivers who was coming back through the field until he got caught up in another, incident, which pretty much shot his car the rest of the day. So, I don't mind that 14-1 if you want to take chances on him. 15-1, whatever you can get him. I'm not going to do it. I'm only playing one driver this week, so.
After him, 14-1, Ross Chastain. Now, you and I we haven't spoke well about Ross Chastain on this show pretty much all year. But I really do think that he's one of the top 5 cars in this race come Sunday. Where are you at on Ross?
Ross is number 3 for me. He's right next to Denny. Cool. He showed speed last week that I don't think he's shown prior this year. And if you go back to last year, the 3 fastest cars on the mile and a half tracks were Larson, Hamlin, and Chastain. And, I don't know if I'm going to bet Ross because, Ross isn't a very good qualifier. We all know that. And, that's my concern.
You can't bet him. You certainly can't bet him before Saturday night. I think there's no – to be honest, he's had such a mediocre year. that even if he qualifies well,
Ross Chastain's leading in points. He's not had a mediocre year.
yeah, Coop,
He's had below expectations off of last year.
Listen. You and I,
he's done a very good job of taking a
bet
car
money
that hasn't been
wins,
good.
bro. Wins. We make our money by wins. Okay,
And
that's what I'm
my concern with Ross Chastain is he likes to finish second.
Yeah, he's done it a bunch, obviously,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have a win this year, right? No, yeah, that's what I meant. So I'm with you, man. I think he's gonna. Man, we haven't talked really good about him all year, and we didn't even talk this week. I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that he's gonna be good. I don't know if he's gonna win, but I think that he's one of the top 5 cars probably on the track when it's all said and done, if I had to guess.
Right. I mean, Ross did well last week.
And if we're being honest, that's the first appealing number on the board that we've spoke about. As much as we like Larson, as much as we like Denny, 5-1 and 7-1, it's rough to get behind. It is, but that at least that's the first appealing number, you know.
Yeah, him and Kyle Busch to me.
Yeah, I guess they're the same number. I have to look into Kyle Busch, if I'm being honest. I did not look deep into him at all this week. Kind of came in and I didn't really have an opinion. Wanted to see what you thought. But I'll take a closer look at him before I go to bed tonight. But yeah, I'm with you. Chastain. All right. After that, Bubba has been pretty solid. At least at Kansas and Vegas, he didn't look bad. He's hard to bet at 15-1. At least that's what Caesars has. I do think though that if it all broke right for Bubba, I think he's one of the top 10 to 12 cars you have to consider.
Yeah, I have him 8th right after Kyle Busch. My concern with Bubba Wallace are the track conditions. It being hot, it being slick, and if tire wear does come into play, and he typically doesn't do well when it comes to managing his tires. So if he was 25, I'd do it, but he's not, and best of luck to him.
Based on, let's say Ross Chastain goes out and qualifies well, right? How much do you think the books move that number, considering he doesn't have a win this year? I don't think it moves. I don't think it moves a ton. Top 3 rows.
Well, I mean, if he gets pole, he's going to be 7-1.
I don't know, Coop. You think so?
Oh yeah. These books base their numbers on poles. They base it on where they start. They don't look at practice. It's all about where you start.
I don't know if it'll move that much. I mean, you could be right, but my gut says it doesn't move that much. They're going to cut the number in half.
If he gets a top 5, it's 10-1. But if he gets the pole, it'll be 7-1.
All right. So after Bubba, Harvick, Joey, Keselowski, 3 Fords, I have absolutely no interest in. I mean, like if tire wear actually severely starts to matter at Kansas, I guess maybe, you would have to take Kevin Harvick seriously, but I don't think we're at that point yet at Kansas. And I don't see either of the 3 of these Fords winning the race on Sunday.
Nope. Don't either.
All right. After that, Suarez 35-1. You know, Daniel Suarez has probably been better on mile and a half than me and you would have ever thought a couple of years ago.
I definitely agree. But my thing with Suarez is this isn't Danny Suarez of last year. He's finished outside of the top 20, I think, in 6 out of his last 8 races. And, you've got to take that into consideration. Like, I think, he could finish well, do well. I just don't know if he's a race winner.
All right, so after that, I mean, it's not even worth talking about. Well, actually, what do you think about, I know you're a fucking Ty Gibbs homer, so do you have anything on Ty Gibbs this week?
I bet him 41.
This fucking guy.
The guy prior to Martinsville had 4 consecutive top 10s. Now, he didn't have race winning speed in those. Some of those he backed into, but he had top 10s. Talladega, he was 3rd, ran out of gas. Last week, he would have finished 4th or 5th, ran out of gas. And he drove through the field last week.
So you bet him at 40-1?
No, I would though. I'm only making one bet this week. I can't. I'm just putting one who I think is going to win.
Oh, you're saying that you would bet him if he was 40-1?
He is 40-1.
Oh, well, right now I just have Caesars I'm looking at. He's 35-1.
Yeah, you can get him at 40. He's going to win. It's coming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can. Josh Berry. Alex Bowman's whip has been quietly one of the best whips this year. He's got a good car. I mean, I guess all the Hendrick cars have been solid. I guess other than however you rate Elliott. What do you think about Berry this week in that car?
I think he'll finish around 13th or 14th. Josh Berry was a big disappointment last week. Huge disappointment.
You think
guy was in a car that had finished in the top 5 out of the last 6 races.
Yeah.
Guy was in a car that's been very good week in and week out all year long. He was at a track that he does very good at from Xfinity. I forget who said it, but somebody said when you're moving from a Cup car to a Xfinity car or Xfinity car to a Cup car,
Dovers,
this is the best feel type.
Right.
All right. The guy only finished top 10 last week because Ty Gibbs ran out of gas. I don't think the guy ever got higher than 9th place. He ended up with 13th or 14th best speed. He was a huge disappointment.
Okay.
There's no way I would look at Berry this week because everything was lined up for him much better last week than what it is this week.
After Berry,
and while we're on it, he's going to be with Stewart Haas Racing next year, evidently. Because he's signed with Kevin Harvick's agency.
Oh, really?
For them, I don't think it's a done deal, but I think it's pretty close. Clint Boyer said on the telecast that there's going to be a big, surprise driver taking, a big name car next year. So,
wow.
And Ford thinks it's Josh Berry. Give me a fucking break. They're gonna have their team next. Their team is gonna have Josh Berry, Chase Briscoe, probably Zane Smith or Eric Amarola, whichever one, and Ryan Preece. Are you kidding me? And you want to be a top tier team?
Don't. I mean, Coop, we coined the phrase because of Josh Berry. Okay.
I don't give a shit.
Josh Berry.
But listen. There is no more Josh Berry season when he gets the Cup. Look at. Do you think he's a better driver than Kevin Harvick?
No, bro. Is that a real question?
I'm just asking you.
No.
All right.
Not even close.
then how in the hell do you think he's going to be any good next year? Look at what Kevin Harvick's doing this year.
I mean, he may not do anything next year, but can we give the kid a little respect? He made us a lot of money.
He ain't no kid. He's 33 years old.
He's made us some money, you and I.
If Ford was smart, they would pull a Denny Hamlin, and they would go out there and they would sign a Sammy Smith. They would sign a Nick Chancez. They would get a Chandler Smith. They would get one of these young kids, man, that's going to be good. Maybe they tried. Maybe they can't. I don't know about all the contracts and all this and all that. But Josh Berry, seriously, how many wins do you think Josh Berry will have in NASCAR Cup? Yeah.
Career? Under 3.
I said 1 to 3 if he gets 1.
Under 3, yeah. I would say under 3.
And that's what you're signing to replace Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
I'll tell you, man, Sammy Smith, when you really think about how young that kid is, he's a baby.
He's 18.
He could be legit in a few years.
Yeah. I mean, he could be Abby's boyfriend.
Let's settle down. But I understand what you're saying. All right. But the kid's 14 and I don't want to think about that shit yet, Coop. All right. Yeah, I'm with you. That does seem a little crazy. It does seem a little crazy to put Berry in Harvick's whip. That's a little crazy. But I mean, I have to respect the fact that he's made us money in Xfinity for a couple of years. So, but yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's look at these betting markets.
So for me, I'm either going to bet Kyle Larson at 5, Denny at 7.5, or Chastain at probably 13.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Believe me, I like those, and like the other 2 cars that stick out to me is Bell and Marty. I don't know. I might do like something like you and bet 1 car going into the race, and then just bet live. So just to limit the damage if it doesn't go our way. But yeah, I'm with you. God, it's so hard to pull the trigger on somebody to win a cup race at 5-1 though.
Kyle Larson wins the pole tomorrow. What's he going to be? 3.5?
Yeah. Probably plus 350 sounds right.
What's he at the book you're looking at now? 4.5? He might get to 3 at that book.
He is plus 450. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he'll be 3.5-1 probably. Yeah. Yep. What's Denny? Like you could still get like 7.5-1 on Denny. If Denny goes out and puts down a monster, right? What is he?
He'll
5?
be 5.
Yeah. God, they're making it so hard. It's starting to be so hard. All right, let's look at these markets. Top 3s, top 5s, top 10s. Anything stick out to you?
Yeah, I messed the top 5 bet. I should have just went ahead and placed it, but I, was thinking about getting tricky.
Denny?
You missed no. It. Oh. No. I mean, look, his number is like 145.
Yeah.
I think it's still a consideration for me. But Barstool had Larson at 105, plus 105.
When I looked at the top 5s, the only one I thought about betting was Denny at plus 145.
So one thing that crossed my mind, like you hit on it earlier, like Ford is out of this race for the most part. Can you go back? Who finished in the top 5 last year in both of these races?
Yeah, I could tell you that. So at Kansas 2, Bubba won the race. Denny finished 2nd. Bell was 3rd. Bowman was 4th. Marty was 5th.
Mm-hmm.
At Kansas 1, it was Kurt Busch 1, Kyle Larson 2nd, Kyle Busch third, Denny Hamlin fourth, Chris Bell fifth.
All right. So no surprises up in the top 5. And I don't think we're going to see any surprises this week because it all comes down to speed. You've eliminated Ford. So you basically have 8 to 10 drivers who are fighting for the top 5 positions.
Yep.
Like, if the numbers were just a little bit better, I'd take all 10 of them. But now with Kyle Larson being in minus numbers, like, you can't have him in there because if he doesn't get it, you're screwed. You know, because the hang on it was like, you know, if you have plus numbers, like, you only need 1 out of every 2 to break even.
Right.
But, you know, the key to that would have been betting, like, Bubba, I think, is like 200. I think Chastain's around 200, 225.
Like, I don't mind those numbers. Those 2 guys could definitely crack the top 5.
Right. But you would really need one of them to do it to really help you. You know, because you're just making pennies basically. Right. Because everybody else is like 25, 35, 40.
Yep.
Something like that.
Yep.
So, you know, I just think it's too much. Because, like, I was like, I'll take a unit and split it between 10 drivers. But then I was like, you know, I'm really not gaining that much from it. But I think if that's something you want to do this race, you could do that. Because I think, like I said, there are, like, Austin Dillon or Austin Cindric, you know, Eric Amarola, Ricky Stenhouse, those type of drivers aren't going to finish in the top 5. Those top 5 are going to come from, you know, big HMS, Toyota, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Gibbs drivers.
So I've only made 2 bets. I took Gibbs to win the race at plus 320, and I took Hendrick to win the race at plus 235.
You got Ty Gibbs for 320?
No, I bet Joe Gibbs to win the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, teams. I bet Joe Gibbs to win the race at plus 320. I mean, legitimately, every car. I mean, even if you want to include your boy, I mean, they're 3 of the top contenders in the race by a mile.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, I can't do it because I could easily see either one of the 23XI teams winning, drivers winning. I could see Kyle Busch winning. I could see Ross Chastain winning.
I mean, I could see them winning, I guess. I agree with you. We went through the top 10 cars we like, but I do put those Gibbs cars and Kyle Larson like ahead of Reddick, ahead of Busch.
I do too, but I mean, like, the margin's not that big.
What is 23XI to win the race?
Like 8-1, 9-1, maybe.
Wow, Barstool has 4.5 to 1 on them to win the race.
What?
Yeah. 4.5 to 1.
So
you know,
right there,
because Reddick had a mile per hour on the field, and Bubba won a race last year.
But I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, I'm with you.
Like,
I don't disagree. But
that 500. But, like, that shows you how much value there is in that Joe Gibbs number at 320.
100%.
Because you're getting 4 cars versus 2 cars.
And we rate the majority of them better than those 2 cars. Like, so, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. But that's all I bet so far. I'll probably bet an outright like you, but we'll keep going through. Top 10s. Did you see anything that you like? I don't mind, like, for people that are watching. I'm not against taking Denny at plus 145 to crack the top 5. I might do that. I haven't decided yet. I do think that it's a bettable number. I think there's value in that number. But
I can't take any top 10s because I think, like we mentioned earlier, there's a good chance that 8 of those 10 cars or 12 cars that we think could win are going to finish in the top 10. And then it's as good of a guess as any, who's going to be like we bashed Ford, but like Harvick and Blaney, they can finish 11th, 12th. They can finish 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah, they could top. Yeah, I think they could top
Right.
10. I don't think they could win.
I don't think this is a good week whatsoever for top 10s.
Man, like Caesars is hanging minus 200 on Bubba to crack the top 10 now. That's where we're at with Bubba.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but guy David in the Discord, did you see what he did last week?
No.
He took.
I didn't go into Discord last week.
He took 10 drivers to finish in the top 10.
Yeah.
He parlayed all of them. All right.
Yeah.
He ended up getting 8 out of the 10.
What did it pay?
All at plus numbers. All at plus numbers. But I mean, he had drivers like Larson. I think Larson might have screwed him, but he had like those drivers that were like Truex's, Hamlin, all the good drivers, man. It's not like he was betting like, Eric Amarola, Ricky Stenhouse type of drivers.
But what do you know what the parlay was going to pay?
Hold on a minute. Keep going. I'll go back to it. I'll find it.
Yeah. Man, I'm so pro Bubba in this next gen car. I think he's been so good. I think the car has been so good in the totality of this next gen car. But boy, minus 200 on Bubba to crack the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's down to 14-1 now. That's where we're at with Bubba. Fuck. All right, let me see.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, good.
All right, so he had Denny Hamlin, 891. Bell, 898. Busher, 502. Kozlowski, it doesn't show the number. He had Blaney, doesn't show the number, but he had good numbers.
And it doesn't show what it was going to pay?
It just cut it off on those.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like here he had one. All right. Asian Carrascus money line, the Seattle Kraken money line, team of the race winner Joe Gibbs ended up paying $28.50.
So
he had Truex top 5 parlayed with the Seattle Kraken 7-Eleven. So he did good.
Good for him. I love seeing our guys crush. Except Gavin, when he sends me a screenshot of Kyle Busch at 20-1 when he bet $100 on it to pick up $2K. Fucking 3 hours after I felt like I got my intestines ripped out of my stomach. Like, bro, but yeah, I'm happy for everybody else. Everybody else.
Do you know, I was on a roll.
We turned him. You and I single-handedly turned him.
He had Truex plus 1600 on the Xfinity race, and Truex plus 1200 in the Cup race.
We call him Adam Pockrass now. Like, you understand? Like, we turned him into a fucking beast. We turned him into a beast. Proud of it. I'm proud that we did that. That's awesome. Kid didn't even watch NASCAR when he met us, Coop. Now he could tell you the fucking weather at 5:00 on Sunday afternoon. He'll give you the humidity. All right. Any matchups that you saw that you liked? I kind of saw one. that I didn't mind?
All right, go ahead.
If you were going to take the shot to beat Larson, I think Chastain was like plus 150 or something like that against him. I thought I saw a heads up. I guess I don't mind that. I didn't see a ton of matchups that I like, though.
There's some matchups that I like, but they go against my thought process of taking minus money.
What matchups? Let me hear it.
Like I take Ross Chastain minus 115 over Chase Elliott.
I mean, I think that, like I told you a couple months ago, I think we have to adapt and really think. Like, I know you and I always think the volatility in NASCAR means you just can't lay a vig. But I think if we really looked at value the way that you're supposed to, like the implied probability, I think that we would probably bet a lot more. Like if you see a driver that you like, that's minus 110 against somebody, right? I know that I'm like you. My snap reaction is to be like, I am not laying a vig in this sport. But do you think he's got more than a 52.8% chance to get the job done? If you do, there's value in that number. So, I mean, like, I think we have to try to find a happy medium, because I think that you and I have costed ourselves money a lot by sticking to our guns on that because of the volatility in the sport. But when you think about how the betting market in NASCAR is shifting, I think that we kind of have to shift with it.
So I think if we go back and we look at it, races that Ross Chastain completed last year, I bet you he swept Chase Elliott. A mile and a half.
He was a beast. He was a beast last year. You know, I mean, like you said, he's points. He's number one in points, right? But he doesn't feel like he does not look like he did last year.
Right. Like they have Kyle Busch minus 110 over Chase Elliott. Like I don't know. I'm just not high on Chase Elliott this week. Austin Cindric minus 110 over Eric Jones. Austin Cindric's been solid from a Ford perspective. I don't think he can top 10. If he does, it's going to be like 8th, 9th, or 10th. But Eric Jones, man, like your lawnmower goes faster than Eric Jones.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what in a matchup like that? Like, do you think if you think there's a 53? Well, normally you want like some kind of edge, right? So the break-even point on minus 110 is 52.38, right? So let's say you want 1.5% of value, which is a decent amount of value. Do you think that he has more than a 53.9% chance of winning that matchup?
Yeah, like another one I like, Austin Cindric over Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe, man, I mean, like you could put him next to Eric Jones in the lawnmower race, and they're horrible.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that stick out for me. Like if you look at Caesars, Chastain's minus 130 against Elliott.
Yeah, minus 130. So that's a little different.
Right. But what I'm saying is you can get him for 115, but there's another book out there that thinks it's even bigger. And
right.
I mean, Caesars always is tighter than, most of the books. So it could be some of that too.
Right.
Who
do they have Denny in matchups with this week? Gibbs guys?
Yeah.
Man, I figured.
Here's one for you. I'm not going to take it, but you might. Martin Truex plus 100 against Tyler Reddick minus 120.
Yeah, I don't mind that. At even money, I don't mind that. Marty's been he's been good, man.
This one kind of sticks out to me too. I'm not going to bet it, but Ross Chastain is a minus 125 against Bubba Wallace plus 105. Like you would think that Bubba would be a lot closer than 25 or 30 cents.
Yeah, like my snap reaction to that is to take the 105 because he's very good here.
He's very good here, but like they're both like right next to each other in the to win markets.
No, right. So wouldn't that make you side towards the 105 instead of the minus 130?
I like Ross Chastain more than Bubba Wallace this week.
I do too, but do you like him 25 cents more?
Yeah.
So you would rather lay it?
I'm not betting it, but yeah, if I had to.
Right. I mean, I don't like it enough to bet it either way, but I think I would side.
Listen, I'm telling you, all right, right now, I'm playing this. All right, I'm betting it right now. Ty Gibbs minus 120 against Chase Briscoe plus 100.
You're betting that right now?
Right now.
I mean, Chase Briscoe has been abysmal. Are you more disappointed in a car this year than Chase Briscoe, you think? In terms of your expectation?
Yeah. Yeah, he's right there.
He's up there, right?
Yeah. Eric Jones would be there too.
Yeah. Probably Busher. He would be there based on what we saw last year. But man,
Busher's in the top 16 in points.
Yeah. Briscoe has been dreadful. He's been dreadful. I don't want to lay minus 120 on a 20-year-old kid. How old is he?
He might be 21, but he's probably 20.
I might tail it though, just out of respect.
You can't.
You laid one. Oh, fuck you, Coop. Betfred. I hate. Let me tell you something about Betfred, okay? The fact that they're not in New Jersey, who was the first legal betting market after Las Vegas, it's a crime against humanity. We should get every sports book out there in the country, okay?
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
But it's done.
You know what, though? You don't lay minus 120 ever. I would have tailed that out of respect.
I'm sure I will be on it.
Of course he will. Of course. They don't have corn. All they do is have cornfields where he's from, but he could bet Fred and I can't. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't make that bet, Adam. I'll tell you why in a little bit.
All right. Winning manufacturer. Top Toyota, top Chevy, top Ford. So Kyle Larson is plus 135, at least at Caesars, to be the top Chevy. Okay. But I kind of think that if I was going to bet this, I would take Chastain and I guess Kyle Busch, and I would try to beat him, even if I was betting Kyle Larson to win the race. I would probably take Chastain and Busch to beat him because I think it's not a true hedge, obviously, but I would want to back myself up.
You want to know how I would bet it if I was betting it?
How?
I would parlay Larson, Byron, Chastain, and Busch because I think it's going to be one of those four drivers.
Parlay. Oh, you're saying to make the prices better?
Yeah, that way you can include Larson in it. But I think it's going to be one of those 4 drivers.
What, have you seen a better number on him than plus 135? Or is
He's
he
200 at 365.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
That changes things.
I mean, you can. I mean, he's 200, 275, 550, and 650.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. I see it now.
But you should take, those 4 drivers and parlay it with 1 or 2 of your MMA bets.
Yeah. I mean, who would beat you? I guess Elliott maybe if he shows up.
Well, no, Byron, you're leaving out Blade B.
Well, no. If you were going to do it that way, you would probably take all 4, right? But because if you did take all 4 and you parlayed them, I left them out because their numbers weren't good. But if you were going to try to get the numbers up, I guess that you would take those 4. But like, man, who's going to beat those 4? Elliott's got to run perfect, I guess. He's got to have a really good car.
Yeah. Well, those 4 is Larson, Chastain, Byron, and Busch. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, Byron was already part of that 4. Duh.
Right. So yeah, I don't mind attacking them.
You gonna do it with a parlay? I think you should.
I don't know. I have to see if I like anything good enough on tomorrow's card.
You've already bet it, so I hope you like it.
Oh, I do. I like it. I don't know if I like it enough to then pile on top of it with 4 cars to get the top Chevy. But yeah, I already bet them straight. Yeah. All right, top Toyota: Denny, Reddick, Bell, Truex, Bubba, Gibbs. It's the hardest. I mean, all 6 guys could win that probably. Well, I'm not going to count Ty Gibbs in that. I would say 5 out of 6 guys could win that. I think it's impossible to bet that, unless you were just going to shoot your shot and
I would bet it.
You would take Gibbs and Bubba to beat them.
No, I'd take all 6 of them and I'd parlay it.
Oh, Coop. I've created a monster by accident. It's horrible. It's horrible. Top Ford. Oh, I did see you bet something here. Go ahead, talk about Top Ford. Who do you like top Ford?
I bet Austin Cindric at plus 1,800. If you go back, he was either the top Ford or the second place Ford in both Kansas races last year. He was the top Ford this year in Las Vegas. Again, to be the top Ford, you need to finish anywhere from 8th to 13th. And I really think it comes down to him and Blaney, possibly Harvick. Logano struggled here. Logano's struggling this year. Keselowski hasn't been very good on the 1.5 miles. And then after that, I think it's a crapshoot. Would have I bet it if it was plus 1,200? I highly doubt it. But I think the 1,800 number was just way too much.
Yeah, I mean the way that you broke it down in the Discord, it made sense. It made a lot of sense. I get the play.
I mean, I'm betting the number. Could Austin Cindric, crap out in lap 5? Hell yeah, he could.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it. 18-1, I don't think is available anymore.
Nope. It went to 12 pretty quickly on MGM, and now it's moved to 12 on 365.
Yeah. Yeah, I see 12 on 365. Yep. I don't have any interest in betting the top Ford market, although I get the play. the stab at the price. But yeah, nothing sticks out to me that I like. After that, groups. Did you see any groups that you liked?
Oh yeah, there's 4 of them. The first one I wrote down, I probably liked the least now, and that was on DraftKings. Bubba Wallace was plus 200 over Harvick, Logano, and Blaney. Do I think Bubba Wallace could still win this? Definitely, but I have a little bit more concern with the temperatures and it being hot and slick and to that nature. You're on Caesars. Pull up Group B.
Yep.
What's that?
Suarez, Gibbs, Berry, Briscoe, Busher, and Cindric.
Okay. I don't mind that now. But there's another one that has overtaken that one as my favorite. I was going to target Suarez and Gibbs in that one. And they're what, 240?
And 280.
Right. I think the only competition would be Josh Berry, as far as beating them.
Right.
But I'm going to pass on that one. I think I found a better one. What's F?
That's Dylan, Almirola, Jones, and Priest.
Dylan, Almirola, Jones, and Priest.
Yep.
So you have 3 Fords against Austin Dillon.
Yep, and he's plus 220.
Right. So it would be taking Austin Dillon and hoping that, his Chevy does well. My concern, though, is Austin Dillon was crap at Las Vegas earlier this year. But, he's raced up and down, not bad here at Kansas. But I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with the last one that I found right before the show.
Chastain and Busch against Elliott and Logano.
No. It's on Barstool.
I got it up. Good. Which group?
D.
That is Logano, Suarez, Keselowski, and Gibbs. Oh, Suarez and Gibbs at 3-1 and 325.
Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Because how often do you now find drivers that are plus 300 in a group?
Especially
two of them.
Two Fords that you really don't expect to run very well. That's I think that's my favorite one that you mentioned out of them all.
Right. Because I like that one better than the one on Caesars because I like Josh Berry, I guess, a little bit better than Logano and Keselowski.
Right.
So, but the number again puts me in it, and I think Gibbs and Suarez could both finish top 10. Logano and Keselowski could too.
Think Suarez?
I think it's.
You think Suarez has
an
upside?
I think he can finish 8th, 9th, 10th. But I think, Keselowski could do the same thing. But, if you look at, the manufacturer matchup in here, and you look at Ty Gibbs running really, really good here recently, Joey Logano is not running good, hasn't run well here recently. Keselowski, he's up and down, hasn't shown it under 1.5 miles. I like Suarez and Gibbs.
I'm surprised that you don't like that group with Chastain.
I don't mind.
Kyle.
Yeah. What is it again?
Chastain and Busch against Logano and Elliott.
And that's on Caesars?
Yeah. Kyle Busch plus 285 and Chastain is plus 190. So if he wins, you'll scrape about a unit. If Busch wins, you'll scrape almost 2.
I think I would rather take my shot on Logano. I mean, the Gibbs and Suarez.
Yeah, I like that one. Out of all the ones that you said, I agree. I like that one the best. Anything else stick out to you? I think that's it. I think we might have went through everything.
Yeah.
Did you think about betting anybody in terms of qualifying?
No. I mean, I again, I think you're betting those 10 to 12 drivers, man. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if an Austin Cindric or a Blaney show up in qualifying and put down some fast lap.
I don't know why, but I have this gut feeling that it's going to be Chris Bell.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't even know what his odds are to qualify to get the pole, but I don't know.
Hold on. Let's see if there's any of these Gibbs, Blaney, Reddick to all finish top 10. Can't do that.
Oh, he's 6-1 to get the pole.
Bubba and Barry to finish top 10. Can't do that. Both to finish top 3. Chris Bell and Denny Hamlin. Is 900 worth it, though? I don't think it.
No. I looked at that, too. I looked at that. That's Caesars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that, too. I mean, God, with all the cars that we think that are going to be strong, you're really trying to thread a needle.
Right. And a number that looks good but really isn't that good.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
What is this on Caesars where it says Ford versus Chevrolet? What is that?
Ford.
Is that just
the top
car?
Yeah, I assume that means that that Chevy will have a higher car than Ford. That's exactly probably what that means. Yep.
Well then, do you lay that number?
No. Is it gonna? Should it win? Yeah. I'm not laying -300 in this sport. Fuck that. No chance.
But you don't think a Ford or a Toyota can win? I mean, a Ford can beat them and win.
Right. You're right. But you know what, Coop? Shit happens all the time that me and you don't think is going to happen. And I'm not laying $3 to see and find out about it.
So what would be the probability of that?
In terms of
it being a good bet.
Well, I could tell you what the wow, the Devils are getting crushed. I could tell you what -300 is. That's a 75% win probability.
It happened 100% last year. At Kansas.
This guy. Yeah, should it happen? Yes. Probably even more than 75%. Am I laying that number? Not on your life. No.
But you were just saying it we need to take more shots.
Yeah, at -110, -120. I mean, that. What do you? I'll be knocking at your door, sleeping in the fucking garage if we bet like that. Are you crazy?
I got a sexy garage. You might like that.
I bet I would. Right next to that rainforest that you smoke in. This guy, -300.
I mean, how do they lose?
Like if you know what like if you wanted to use that as like a parlay piece to get something down to like even money, I wouldn't mind that. But to lay 300, no, never. ever, 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 ever.
So you could put it in there with your MMA bet.
I'll tell you right now,
With the top seven.
I'll go so far as to say I'll break up with you as a friend if I ever hear that you laid 300 in the sport of NASCAR. You won't be my friend anymore. How do you feel about that?
Man, you're twisting my arm.
Yeah.
You're threatening me.
I'm threatening you right now. Yeah. What do you think about you've been solid at picking spots to take, like winner of stage 2 wins the race or stage 1 wins the race. You think that's live this
I
week?
was solid at the beginning of the year when they had were hanging some bad numbers on it. But ever since those first couple races, it's been like 250 or 350.
Is it really that low?
Yeah.
Jesus. Because I mean, what your odds on favorite, unless it's Kyle Larson, if he wins stage 2, he's probably 2.5 to 1 to open up.
Right. And like if you look at this race last year, there were like 5 or 6 different leaders in each race.
Wow, they got balls, man. Some of these numbers are such a joke. It's crazy.
Yeah. Corey said we got to 16 and 1200 earlier in the year, man. It's like, it's been way, way off since then.
Yeah. That I think, wasn't that at a super speedway though?
Yeah. It's right where you started.
That was Logano at Auto.
Yeah. Yeah.
That race literally ruined you. You like, it ruined you. Unbelievable.
The last 3 weeks, I've had parlays going into Sunday.
I know.
I had Elliott and Larson last week,
and it's we just can't close the door.
So I'm done with it.
I mean, like the parlay numbers that we had on winning race teams last week.
I mean, I should just bet the parlay. I would have been much more profitable.
Yeah, like how many times do you think you're going to hit 5-leg parlays, bro? You're not getting anything for it, too. That's the crazy part.
I did it every week. Well, I didn't do it last week. Last week was a 4-legger and Larson at 3,000.
I broke, my friend.
But no parlays this week.
All right, so I guess that's it. Nothing really. Oh wait, before we recap, the truck race. Did you make any bets there?
I took Nick Sanchez, 10 to 1.
You like him, man. He has been strong on 1.5 miles. He's a tough out.
Yep, he's been the fastest truck this year. But again, he has the Kyle Larson syndrome, where the fastest truck hasn't got him any wins.
Yeah.
So
I don't mind that call at that price.
But I mean, I don't mind Eckes either.
Wow, I mean, Kyle Busch minus 110, huh?
Even Zane Smith at 500, 550. But I'm just gonna stick with Nick Sanchez right now.
Yeah, I don't mind that, considering the price. I dig it. Oh, Chastain's in the truck race, huh?
Hey, he's not in a great truck, but I don't think he's in a race-winning truck. Let me ask you this. I was thinking about this. Do you think it would be better? And I don't know how you would qualify to be in it or how it should change. But would you be more intrigued if racing just went to like 36 charters? All right. And if you had a charter you were driving the truck race, the Xfinity race, and the Cup race. So what I'm saying is, would you like to see Kyle Larson,
Yeah,
Ross Chastain, and all them duke it out in trucks,
I would dig that.
and then duke it out in Xfinity?
And
But see, like,
where there aren't like super teams like Hendrick and
but see, that's the thing I was thinking was like, does that mean that like those trucks and those Xfinity cars would just become great like they are in Cup right now? And then the other piece is like how would the young guns get into the racing then? You know, how would the same, you know,
fair. That's
right.
true. That's true.
But man,
they
like,
would.
But like in a fantasy world, like if you took these Cup drivers and you put them in trucks, oh my God.
You know what would happen though, Coop? If
that would be freaking crazy.
If we went to 36 charters like that and we didn't have these super teams, we would still have super teams because the manufacturers, I think, would be way more prominent of a role where you might not have like Joe Gibbs Racing, but the company Toyota would make sure that all Toyota charters were hooked up to the nines. Same with Chevy, same with Ford. And I think that we would start to see the Chevy charters maybe be doing better than Toyota or vice versa. I think it would still pull back in, maybe not quite like race teams, but I don't think we would get as far away from what we see now as we would think, if that makes sense.
Right, but I mean, like, if you could see the 36 best drivers, quote unquote,
right?
All right, but like, let's say, all right, you add Sammy Smith, you add, you know, Brandon Jones, you add Justin Allgaier, and you get rid of Ty Dillon, you get rid of, you know, these lower tier teams.
Yeah, Gilliland and
I mean,
guys like
that would be, but like I would pay a lot of money to watch like the top tier drivers race in 3 different series, all at the same track. So I think you would get great with different results.
I think that the only problem would be breaking new drivers into the sport.
Oh, definitely, I agree.
How long do you think until we see somebody take a shot on Sammy Smith to drive Cup full time?
I mean, it could be as soon as next year, but
somebody's going to try to scoop him.
I don't know. Like that's the thing. I don't know like how deep in ties he is with Toyota and things of that nature. But like you got to think. All right, so Bell's going to be there for a while. Gibbs is going to be there for a while.
Right.
All right. So is it John Hunter who gets the next call, or is it Sammy Smith who gets the next call?
My gut probably says John Hunter, but man, that kid is 18 and he is really good for 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think Chandler Smith is going to take Justin Haley's ride next year.
I could see that definitely. He's great too.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. But
then if whoever doesn't get true extra drive, they got to wait until Denny leaves.
Think about if Marty retires, right? Who knows what's going on with Denny? But let's say Denny stays, okay, to be like the number one guy there. Can you imagine that race team having Chris Bell, a baby, Gibbs, a baby, and Sammy Smith? I mean, like they could potentially set themselves up to be dominant 10 years from now if all these kids pan out to be as good as they look.
Well, what they should have done, all right, and because I know I said this last year, they had Bell, Gibbs. They should have gone after Noah Gregson and then Sammy Smith.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know you live in that corner, and you probably haven't, gone out of it much this week. But did you hear that there's going to be 2 new Toyota teams next year?
I did not. No, I believe it or not, the last couple of weeks I have not been in this corner. I've been dealing with all sorts of shit. But what's going on?
What do you think? Since you don't know,
2 new Toyota teams. Wait, 2 new teams or 2 new Toyota cars?
Well, they'd be new to Toyota.
Oh, so they're switching. They're existing manufacturers that are switching over. Correct. Oh wow, I didn't hear about this. Well, it's not going to be one of the big boys. I don't know who.
Legacy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Eric Jones and Noah Gregson.
Wow. Why? I wonder why. Why they switch like that.
Well, maybe that's why neither one of them been fast all year either. Chevy might have known about this and was like, "Screw you! I'm pulling some money from us.
Yeah,
you're going to get our support if you're going to go to Toyota."
Yeah.
So I would expect them to be even worse now that it's out. So, and the other thing too is like Ty Dillon has like actually shown a little bit of speed the last couple races.
Well,
he's been closer to Corey LaJoie type of speed.
He was definitely good at Talladega. Was he good last week?
He was all right. I mean, better than what he had been. He separated himself from the other shit boxes, the other 3 or 4. So, I mean, he's not going to run a race or anything like that. But I mean, he was showing a little bit of improvement, a little bit of speed.
You don't think Allgaier's ever going to get the call to run full time?
No. Guy's like almost as old as you.
Is he really? First of all, that's hurtful. Second of all, I'll have you know I look a lot younger than I did 3 months ago. Okay, buddy? Okay?
No, I think he's Xfinity driver for life.
That sucks for him because he's solid.
You know what's coming up, man? The next 2 weeks.
What?
You got Darlington.
Yeah.
And then they got the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro.
Wow, the All-Star race already?
That will be a tire wear track.
When's the next road course?
Sonoma, sometime in June.
Darlington, such a great race. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's very good. Hopefully everything works out with the weather and so on. I don't know what a forecast is, but
how's the weather looking for Sunday? Are we going to get it in?
As far as I know, I mean, I think it's 93 and like 20% chance. But I mean,
I didn't look at
anytime it's that hot. Anytime it's that hot, you could always have a pop-up thunderstorm.
Yeah, definitely.
They got lights too.
Yeah, trucks are running tomorrow night, right?
Yeah. 8 p.m. Southern Central.
We'll be live at 6 o'clock for UFC 288. We'll roll into that. All right, so Coop's on Sanchez in the truck race. I haven't bet anybody yet in that race, but I like that call. He's been great. Kid's been the best mile and a halfer easily. in the trucks this year. So I think Coop's on the money there. Could he get beat? Of course. But I think it's a great car to back. But I haven't bet anything yet. As far as Cup, I bet Gibbs and Hendrick to win the race. That's all I bet so far. I might bet Denny to crack the top 5 at plus 145. I kind of like that because I think he's going to do it, and I think there's probably a little value there. I'm not sure if I'm going to how many outrights I'm going to bet yet. Maybe one. I don't know. I just don't want to get killed. I'd rather bet live and really see who has the nuts. But maybe one. Coop's going to be on either Larson, Hamlin, or Chastain. I agree with them. I think that Larson and Denny are 1-2. I think that Chastain and Bell and Marty are probably the next 3 cars after that. And then, like we spoke about, Reddick should be strong. Busch probably strong. Bubba should be strong. So if you're doing, if you're looking for action this week, stay away from Ford and focus on Toyota and Chevy because I think, and Coop thinks that's where the money's going to be. So anything else that you're on that I didn't say?
Yeah, I took Cindric as a top Ford 1800.
Right.
I placed that bet Suarez and Gibbs over Keselowski and Logano.
You took Gibbs in the matchup.
Took Gibbs in the matchup, and then the bet that you didn't mention. Not surprised that you didn't mention it. Ty Gibbs over Cindric, Briscoe, and Amarola on Betfred.
Coop's got the bullets in the chamber this week. He is firing this week. All right, Coop. I gotta step my game up. I'm
gonna sleep on that minus 300, minus 280.
No, you're not.
Chevy,
no, you're not.
Chevy and Toyota beat Ford.
What you're gonna do is when we end the show, it's gonna just fly out of your head, and you're never gonna think about it again. That's gonna happen.
Oh, let me see here.
We top Chevy too. The top 4 guys, if you can get better numbers on Larson and Byron, are probably worth getting on. I'll have some more action on the website. Not entirely sure how much, but I'll have another player or 2 up there for you guys, depending on what I bet. Right now, I've only bet the race teams.
I want to know who Iowa's pick is.
Iowa, huh?
Guys on a roll.
I mean, we respect Adam Meyer that much now.
I mean, he did it live, so maybe he can take my spot this week.
Oh, all right, Iowa. Who do you got? I think doesn't he like Reddick? I thought he liked.
Yeah,
Reddick.
He took him 14.
I'm on Reddick at 14-1. He could win. I don't think he's going to, but he could win.
No, you need to get him on the show. He's picked the last 2 winners live.
Oh, he knows he has an open invitation. He just chooses not to hang out with me. I can't help it. What am I going to do? You think you know a guy, and then he just disappears on you one day.
I guarantee he'd say more than Gavin.
That's a fact. That's a fact. He wouldn't be on mute for 75% of the show. Oh, he said, I'll be there Sunday. He's filling in. All right, Adam Meyer. You're filling in? I like it. All right, boys, we're out of here. Saturday, tomorrow, 6 p.m., we'll be live on Sports Keg YouTube for UFC 288 and the truck race. Good luck this weekend.
You're not doing a Bellator show?
No. So I will never bet Bellator again. Everybody in the Discord thought I was joking around. I will never put $1 on a bet. I've seen two of the worst judging calls I've seen in years. Cost me a $4,000 swing. Watanabe last week, and then about a month ago, Darian Caldwell. I will never bet Bellator again. I'm not betting PFL. I'm not betting one. I'm sticking with the UFC because they're not great either, but they're the best. They're at least the best that we have. So no, you will not see me betting Bellator ever again. No, because Coop, if you're going to do this full time, like it's hard enough to win and make a living, but when you win but you lose and they fuck you, it's even harder. So I'm not betting Bellator ever again. No, done. All right, boys, we're out. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 p.m.
Who's your horse tomorrow?
I haven't bet the Derby in a decade. I don't know. I have no idea. You're asking the wrong guy. But if I was betting the Derby, considering that it's pretty much the largest field every year, I would be trying to hit the trifecta because you could luck box into tens of thousands of dollars by playing long shots, especially if the favorite runs out. I mean, you could literally pay for your kids' college education with a $2 bet if you can hit it right. So I would say to everybody, take advantage of the field and try to hit a trifecta, but I'm not betting the Derby personally. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to focus on NASCAR and MMA and root everybody in.
Hey, one more question.
What?
Don't mean to drag it on, but like, what'd you think of the Jets draft?
Everybody that like my friends call me and they're all happy about getting Rodgers. I don't know, Coop. I think we gave up more than I would have liked, but I don't know. Like, how long, realistically, how long is Aaron Rodgers going to play for? 2 years at most.
How old is he? 38?
40.
Well, he could play another 3 to 4 years.
I like Will McDonald. I think he's a solid edge rusher, but I don't know. I'm very anti Aaron Rodgers coming.
My only thing is the balance of the conferences is going to make it so difficult for him. Like, all the good quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the AFC. Look at the AFC East now. You have potentially the Dolphins, a playoff team. In the East, the Bills are a perennial playoff team now. Now Rodgers, and then you can never really count out the Patriots. That could be the toughest division in football right now. What's the tougher if Rodgers pans out and the Jets are actually good for 2 years? Is that the most stacked division in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
So, I mean, it's even if the Jets are good, it's not necessarily going to be easy to get into the playoffs, But I think that I know they got the offensive lineman out of Wisconsin in the second round. I think he's pretty solid. I don't mind that play. I like Will McDonald, but I just don't. I think we gave up a lot to get Rodgers for a couple years because Woody, who owns the Jets, like he would probably give up a grandchild to win for the Jets to win a Super Bowl before he dies. So I think that he's doing whatever it takes, anything, just like when they got Favre and they tried to do it, which it didn't pan out. And to be honest, I don't think this is going to pan out either. Did the Jets look good last year? Like, hey, if we had a quarterback, maybe we can make some noise. Yeah, they did. But is it a foregone conclusion that they're making the playoffs with Rodgers? No, not even close. So
in the NFC they would.
Probably in the NFC.
The AFC is just so tough.
Right. And Aaron Rodgers' ego is so big that he said to himself, you know what? Jets haven't won a Super Bowl in fucking a million years. Let me go to New York for the last 2 years of my career and become a legend when I take the Jets to the Super Bowl and win. I guarantee you that's what he's thinking in his head. And you know what? It just doesn't. If you're a Jets fan, it doesn't pan out for us. It doesn't happen that way. And I don't think it's going to happen that way this year either.
He's got his boy Randall Cobb coming with him.
Oh, then we're good to go. As long as we got Randall, we're good. Such a joke. I honestly, I'd almost rather be a fan of your team right now. I'm not even lying. I'd rather root for Seattle.
I was looking like
this team is a disgrace.
I think they could be a big disappointment this year.
What happened with the QB? Did they end up paying Gino?
Yeah, they paid him.
What'd they give him?
Somewhere between 20 and 30.
A year?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're lying. There's no way.
Google it.
No way.
Google it.
$40 million in overall guarantees, of which $27.3 million fully guaranteed at signing. That's via $26.1 million signing bonus and a $1.2 million base salary in 2023. So what did he actually? He signed a 3-year, $75 million. Are you fucking with me right now, bro? Off 1 year? Oh my God.
It's crazy what they're paying these quarterbacks now.
That's so bad.
But see, I was looking.
Do you remember when you and Signed had like an hour conversation that day when we were trying to figure out what he would get offered? And we were like 13 if he's lucky. Yeah. 27.3 million this year? What?
Yeah.
Holy
I think Google Seattle's schedule.
Like, you probably didn't pay attention to Geno Smith when he came out of West Virginia, but he went to the Jets. He went to my team. I saw it all, and I had season tickets and sat there every week and watched how bad he was. To resurrect his career off 1 year and get a $75 million bag 8 years later is fucking incredible to me. That is incredible. Their schedule.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. Hold on. So their away opponents, minus the NFC West.
You just blew my mind, bro.
They play at Dallas, at the Giants, at the Ravens, at the Bengals, at the Lions, and then the Titans.
That's tough. Even the Lions, at the Lions is tough. Lions are going to be solid.
Yeah. At home, they have Carolina, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Washington, Philly, and then the division.
Wow. So, they could potentially give him $27 million and go like 5-12.
Yeah. I mean, or they could go 12-5 because they're in the NFC too.
Oh, that's true. At least they're well. Let's not get carried away. They're not going 12-5. Stop it. But at
If
least
if 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 your boy Jamal Adams comes back healthy,
yeah.
they might have the best secondary in the league.
I love Jamal. I can't believe we gave him up. Love him.
Because this kid that they drafted, man, like he's really going to be good. His closing speed is phenomenal.
Who did you take in the first round?
They took Devin Witherspoon, cornerback.
Can you believe that I didn't even watch the draft, bro? Because I was with Abby.
Yeah.
I'm so far behind on what's been going on. So they
And,
took.
I mean, they got Wooten from last year. They took the wide receiver from Ohio State in the first round too. Jackson, Namiga Smith or whatever his name
Oh
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So I like that. I mean, I think they got a lot of good picks, man. The big thing is, are they going to be able to stop the run? They got a couple big guys in the later rounds that could pan out and do decent.
Well, I mean, the stopping the run part is what. There are not many safeties better than Jamal Adams at stopping the run, but he's not a great, if he's running backwards in the secondary, he's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, his run stopping ability is incredible.
Yeah. I don't know. Like a lot of people, like somebody in the chat just said the Lions messed up. I don't know if the Lions messed up, man.
Why? What happened with them?
They took Jahmyr Gibbs, in the first round. And everybody's upset because they took a running back that early.
Wait a minute. The Lions took. What's wrong with DeAndre Swift? Is he hurt?
He's an Eagle.
What? When did that happen?
After the draft, man, they traded him.
Oh my God. I feel like I'm in a time machine. The last 2.5 weeks.
So you haven't you got to be kidding me! You haven't seen like all the memes, whatever you call them, with the Eagles.
No, I haven't looked at any draft grade. I have not looked to see where everybody's gone. My life has more than everybody. My life's been crazy the last 2 weeks, man.
I think they have 6 Georgia Bulldogs now on their defense.
Did Bryce Young go number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Where did Stroud and Richardson go?
Second and fourth.
Wow, 3 quarterbacks came off the board in the top 4. Where did Will Levis fall out of the first round?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was going to happen. Everybody said he was top 15. Get the fuck out of here. Top 15. Wow, I cannot believe how the stock rose on that kid from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe So what did they get for if they drafted a running back? What did they get for Swift?
Oh, it was like a 4th round next year and maybe a 7th round this year. It wasn't anything phenomenal, but
the Lions playing the 4th round. The Lions have to feel he's damaged goods because he's been hurt so much. Is Jamal Williams still there?
No, he's gone. He's a Saint, I think he's a Saint.
When did that happen?
That happened weeks ago. They got David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs now.
I have so much work to do between now and the end of August. Wow. Any other big surprises I should know about?
I mean, Philadelphia basically, like I said, drafted Georgia's defense. They got like 6 players now on their defense. They got Jalen Carter. He slipped down to them.
Wow.
But yeah, everybody was dogging like the Lions. Like they got a lot of depth, and like same way with like Seattle. Seattle took that running back from UCLA, Charbonneau,
Yeah.
in like the third round, I think, maybe. And people were dogging them, and like you need 2 running backs now.
Oh yeah, of course. Those Emmett Smith days are fucking over.
Right.
They've been over for a decade.
Yeah. I mean, like what you saw the guy in Atlanta do last year, where he got 20 carries like 3 or 4 games in a row, man. That's unheard of now. So you got to have 2 running backs with the way it goes. I'm trying to think if there were any other. Look at the chat, man. They probably will tell you if there were any more.
Oh, I could pull up. So Stroud went number 2. That makes sense. Anthony Richardson went 4. I didn't realize you had the 5th pick.
Mm-hmm. It's part of the Russell Wilson deal. They had 5 of the top 57 picks, I think.
Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson's a stud. He went to the Raiders.
A lot of people, I think, are worried about his foot or something.
I cannot believe that a running back in 2023 went off the board 8th. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's why everybody was upset with Gibbs, because they took him at 13, and everybody was thinking they could get him late first round, early second round.
I bet you, I would probably bet a decent amount of money on the fact that there hasn't been 2 running backs to go in the first 12 picks of the draft in at least a decade. I would probably bet a decent amount of money on that. I could be wrong, but I would probably bet a decent amount of money on that.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think who else. Yeah, Houston traded back up to 3rd.
Will Anderson is such a stud. That's a great pick.
Like Ryan's defense reached on Jack Campbell. Like Jack Campbell is like the prototypical player for that team. Like they're drafting like him. Dan Campbell's gonna love him.
Lamar Jackson got paid, Coop?
Yeah.
By the Ravens?
By the Ravens.
Smart.
By the Ravens.
Oh wow, Beckham went to the Ravens too?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so the Texans had the number 2 and the number 3 pick?
They traded up to number 3.
What did they give up? Did they give up a ton?
Yeah, they gave up a good little bit. I can't tell you off the top of my head.
Well, then maybe
I think it was a number one next year.
Really? Wow, it's not like they're one piece away. I'm surprised that they did that. A team that goes up like that to get an outside linebacker, you would think they're probably like 1 or 2 pieces away. The Texans are like 10 pieces away.
Oh. They pay in the AFC too. It's going to be tough.
So the Cardinals are going to have 2 of the top 5 picks next year. Wow. Lamar got 5 years, 260. What? He's making $50 million a year?
No, he's not making $50 million a year. He's making like $180 million this year. and how they worked it out, man.
Oh,
Like he
wow.
got huge guarantees and shit, man.
Wow. That is a lot of money for a kid that can't throw a football.
They're supposed to open it up a little bit more next year, so we'll see.
Where did Zay Flowers go?
I think he went to Baltimore. I think.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. 260 million, huh? God bless you, Lamar. I
Would you
cannot
quit?
believe Geno
Would
Smith.
you pay 75 million for Geno or 260 for Lamar?
You know what? If we're throwing out 27 million a year for Geno, you might as well just double it and get Lamar, I guess. It's crazy. With his mom as his agent. That's funny. That's really funny. 185 million guaranteed. Holy Christ. Good for Geno. You know what though? You have to be happy for Geno. He took so much shit in New York, that kid, man. They made his life miserable. Miserable.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him. I hope it pans out.
He's got some nice weapons too, man. I mean, yeah, Lockett's coming down, but like he's still effective. And then the guy from Ohio State's going to be just basically a Tyler Lockett, maybe better. Metcalf. Then they got Walker in the backfield and that rookie. So
Philly's defense going to be strong again, huh?
oh yeah, maybe depends upon like I heard they might cut somewhat of those defensive linemen. Fletcher Cox being one of them.
How many teams realistically you think could beat the Eagles in the NFC?
I mean, you got to think though, man. They're like most of these teams out there. They're one play away from not being a very good team.
Yeah, that's true.
Jamal, if Jalen Hurts goes down, man,
God, the NFC is so much easier to get through right now.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what I mean. Like if Geno could get them to the playoffs somehow and get hot, the NFC, like there's only one or two teams that you really have to.
Oh, Philly and San Francisco. Or,
yeah, and then it kind of falls off a cliff, really.
I wouldn't say it falls off a cliff. I mean, Seattle, the Giants, even Dallas, man, they could beat anybody any week.
The Dallas, I'll give you, but you cannot say Seattle, the Giants, doesn't fall off a cliff compared to San Fran and the Eagles. I mean, that's not a cliff. That's the fucking Grand Canyon. What are the Eagles to win the NFC right now?
300, I think. Hold on.
$350 at DK.
Yeah, that's what I was pulling up.
$350 at DK, and San Fran is $380. God,
I don't think should it be that close?
After that, it's like Dallas at 6-1 or lower. Man, one of those two teams, barring a catastrophe of injuries, one of those two teams is going to be there again.
Seattle's fifth.
Yeah. Seattle's fifth, and the Giants, even Minnesota, is 19-1. Seattle's 12-1. They're definitely giving Seattle a little respect.
They had a good draft. They got Bobby Wagner back too.
I think I would agree with that top four, though. I think after San Fran and Philly, the Cowboys and the Lions would probably be the two teams I would look at. Did Brady retire?
Yeah, Brady retired.
So who's going to be the quarterback in Tampa?
Probably Blaine Gafford or whatever his name is. I don't know. Some bum.
Vikings won't even make the playoffs this year. Yeah, you know what, Corey? They don't deserve to make the playoffs this year. That's how bad they are. Johnny should just stop rooting for them. We're in an era where Danny Dimes and fucking Geno Smith are getting paid. Holy Christ.
Geno didn't get nothing compared to Danny Dimes.
Yeah, Danny. Well, in fairness to Danny Dimes, he was good for a couple years at least. Oh, Mayfield's in Tampa. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay. They'll have their games where they score 50.
They'll have their games when they score 3.
Yeah, and they'll have their games where they give up 40. Yep, because he threw 4 picks.
I mean, I think Jordan Love got like 15 to 20 million the other day.
That's crazy. Kid hasn't started a football game yet, I don't think.
Yeah, Kyle Trask was the guy I was trying to name. I couldn't remember.
Denver can't. Denver just has to realize that they fucked up, right? With that Wilson contract. There's no way they're going to let him play like that, like he did last year for a few years, right?
You know who their coach is, don't you?
No. I'm so far behind.
Yeah, Sean Payton.
No.
You know who Sean Payton is?
Did he really go there?
Yeah.
Why? He could have waited for a much better job than that.
I don't know, Corey, man. Like the Falcons could be, contenders because that division's so bad. I mean, they've got some offensive talent with Pitts and London and Robinson. Now it all comes back down to Riddle, how well he does or whatever.
Josh said Green Bay wins the North with Jordan Love, huh? I was a big backer of the Lions last year. We hit their team total 8 times last year and won. I kind of like. I think the Lions win the NFC North. What are their odds to win the NFC North? Oh my God, they're plus 110. You fucking moron! Jesus Christ, bro. When is the last time the Lions were plus 110 to win the North? When Barry Sanders was on the team?
When Megatron was there, they might have had some.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They had Stafford, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. The Saints are plus 110 to win the NFC South. Yeah, you know what? Why can't the Falcons win the NFC? I think Corey's right. Why can't they win the NFC South?
Mm-hmm. Well, they got some offensive firepower. Just defense isn't great.
Yeah, they give up 30 a game. That's the problem. Panthers are third choice. They're plus 330. Wow, the Jags are minus 150 to win the AFC South. They're saying the Titans are donezo plus 380. They said Ryan Tannehill's washed. I guess the Jags should be a pretty big favorite to win that division.
Yeah. But again, like
Kansas City minus 150 to win the West. That's a bargain, bro. Oh, Titans got Levis, huh?
mm-hmm.
I guess that they're gonna start to make the transition. What the fuck is wrong with me? See what happens when I stop smoking, bro? I stopped smoking cigarettes.
Philly's 105 to win their division. I mean,
I guess the only reason why is because Dallas can always win 13 games. I guess that's probably why. But I don't mind the Eagles. I know. I now know that Tom Brady retired, Josh. I put the NFL away until normally the draft, but I didn't have time because of everything that was going on. I have to start prepping.
like another interesting one to take a shot on is the Ravens win their division.
What's the number?
300.
What's Cincy?
130.
Yeah, I mean, if you were gonna try to beat them, I could see that. I could see that. Wow, the Jets are plus 230 to win the AFC East. Holy Christ. Fucking Johnny is telling me he's betting the Jets to win the Super Bowl. I'm like, don't do it, bro. He's like, it was always Aaron Rodgers, Keg.
No.
Boy.
No. All right, man. I'm ready.
All right, boys. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock, and Sunday at 3. Peace out. Later.